What's up? What's up? Happy Wednesday, July 30th, the day the tsunami hit California. We got 0.5 waves, 0.5 foot wave, half a foot.
Yeah.
Struck our shores. Hopefully, we can rebuild after this catastrophic situation. But an 8.8 earthquake did hit Russia. So
Yeah.
send our best out to all those people. But
Yeah, no, that ain't no joke.
that ain't no joke at all. But a 0.5 foot tsunami certainly is a joke.
It hit somewhere. I don't know. You'll find somewhere where it hit. It didn't do anything in Hawaii.
Yeah.
Didn't do anything. Well, at least what I saw, it didn't do anything substantial. But there's maybe somewhere it did. So it broke something.
I love the news. It's so dramatic.
I know.
They're like, traffic is the only catastrophe that has hit us because we caused it.
Yeah. We freaked everyone out. I mean, look, I think better safe than sorry.
Yeah, definitely better safe than sorry. That could have hit the shores.
I did watch a couple live streams from people watching the ocean in Hawaii. And the tsunami definitely came. It just wasn't like a 10-foot wall of water. It definitely drained out. Like you could see the water go out and then you see the water come in, and it did it like a couple times. And it was definitely interesting. Like one guy was right on in like an inlet that went to a river on the ocean, and you could see the water draining out, like pulling out of that, and then you saw it push all back in. It definitely, he got kind of freaked out because it started to push and it was like more than he expected. So he like turned off his live stream and like went to high ground, but the wave never did anything. It just wasn't like wasn't wall of water. We didn't get like, Japan 2.0. So, I mean, thank God, honestly, because it's cool to see that stuff, but it's also not cool to see that stuff. So,
right.
Yeah.
I remember seeing a video of like, there was a news event and it's just massive storms, like a typhoon or something, waves like 15 feet tall, and then they zoom in and there's a guy out there surfing.
Yeah.
The boaty Point Break.
Yeah. 100-year storm.
Yeah, that's well, honestly, in a tsunami, being out in the ocean is probably not a bad place to be. I mean, you just can go, the wave goes right under you. Being on the shore is where you don't want to be. So,
and you can surf for like hours and hours and hours and hours
Yeah,
on the same wave.
We can't catch it. It's just moving too fast.
Yeah, because tsunamis are a different type of wave. Tsunamis are basically, well, it's crazy. And if you watch the tsunami hit Phuket, which is basically one of the heaviest waves ever, and if you ever want to watch the absolute most insane tsunami movie ever, I think it's called The Impossible or Impossible.
Yeah.
Directed by Jay Bayona, and it is heavy is an understatement. It's basically about like a family vacationing in Phuket when the tsunami hits. I don't know how they made this movie, because I think they created like a stage where it was like designed to have a tsunami hit the hotel. It's like aggressive how well the movie's made. But yeah, that was absolutely no joke. That they have some video footage, you can find it on YouTube, of the wave coming in. It's like a perfect peeling wave coming into the shore, but it looks like extremely unusual, and it moves. The tsunami waves move like, I don't know the exact like differential, but way faster than a regular like storm wave.
It's just like water just keeps going.
Yeah, because it's not like a it's weird because it's not like a wave. It's not like a wave that's like moving through the ocean in the same way that a normal storm generated wave moves. That's because storm generated waves are wind generated. So it's like a ripple that mostly moves across the top of the ocean. Obviously, pushing away from underneath the ocean. But when you're talking about a tsunami, it's like this whole amount of water just like pushing in more of a river flow, and it's just kind of like it's a
Well, it's
tsunami.
usually generated from underneath the ocean from an earthquake.
Right,
And
right. So it's
the,
like the whole like
the
bottom of the ocean is like been
yeah, when the plates
thrusted
like
up.
move, it's basically pushing this
Is it
wave.
wide? Is it wide like a hill in the ocean?
Yeah,
Like
it's like a mountain of water. I mean, there's no
a mountain.
real.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a
So
mountain of water that's coming from the bottom of the ocean rather. So like again, like a storm is wind and it generates waves and it pushes the waves like very
right.
powerfully. I mean, you can
A lot
have
of times they're from
waves.
hurricanes that are like crazy
But they're
wind
narrow.
events.
Waves are narrow. Like they're tall and
Yeah, the
narrow.
waves have a shorter period to them and they're, moving across the top of the ocean. And then, yeah, with a tsunami, it's this huge wall of water that's coming. Now, of course, when the wave shoals close to shore, it breaks like a regular wave. So you
Right.
can actually see, like, oh, shoot, there's a wave. But what it actually is a lot different because it's a wall of water. And usually a wave comes in, pushes up on shore, goes back. Tsunami doesn't do that. Tsunami is just pushing. So it
Yeah.
just keeps
Yeah.
going,
Because it's
and
like a hill.
it's a
Yeah.
mountain of water, and it just you don't know how far that's gonna push in, and it always surprises humans because they're like thinking of that wave to just be like, oh, it's just a wave. It's gonna hit the shore, and then it's gonna like retreat, and that's
Yeah.
not
It's
what
more
it
like the ocean level rises because it's like a mountain
does.
of water.
Yeah, it's just a mountain of water, and its ocean level just keeps pushing and pushing and pushing, and just has no respect for the shoreline. But in the same way that a regular wave gets broken up by any obstruction in its path, tsunami, same thing. So clearly, this tsunami had obstructions on its way to Hawaii. Well, first off, I think it got eaten up by Japan. So it hit Japan first, and then it would have like been dispersed. And then by the time it got to Hawaii, it just wasn't a direct hit. So
Yeah, what's crazy is the earthquake was it says at least 3 minutes long.
yeah,
So, and it's an 8.8 earthquake. So you got like the plates underneath the water that are like shaking for fucking 3 minutes,
yeah,
And so the ripples that each time it shakes, it makes a wave. So
yeah,
you
true.
have 3 minutes of this, then like you're just like the water is just like
Yeah,
coming
it's
so
crazy.
far.
I saw some footage of it. I mean, people couldn't even like they were standing outside and they couldn't stand on their feet. They were like had to go down to all fours and like they just
Yeah.
couldn't stand. It
Yeah.
was heavy. It was heavy. Like buildings literally just swing and like cars that are just like parked
Yeah.
were like shaking, like cars looking like they were going and off-roading. They were parked. Yeah, it was heavy. I haven't seen any of the footage
They
from
said it's a top 10 earthquake ever recorded. So
yeah, that number just sounds like the most extreme number I think I've ever heard. I don't think I've ever heard anything. I mean, maybe there
well, there's
is.
10
Maybe
other
there.
ones, but yeah, it's in the top 10
Yeah,
of
I
all
just like so rare to hear anything even get into the
time. That
eights
one
level.
in Chile, I think that was like a 9 point something,
Okay.
9.1 or something. I think it was just wrecked. I mean, yeah, let's see.
Well, thank God it didn't hit California because they've
Yeah.
been saying that California and the San Andreas fault is overdue by like 100 years for
Dude, the
earthquake.
Chile one, just to put it in perspective, was 9.5.
Okay, well that's yeah, and like
Actually, no,
every
that one was in 1960. There's a 9.5, and the pictures are extreme.
yeah, so every point one above like like a 5.5 is like exponential. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's heavy. Yeah, we just yeah, so every 100 years the San Andreas fault supposedly moves, and the last earthquake, major earthquake, well, we had a huge earthquake. San Andreas Fault happened in the early 90s, but it still wasn't like the 100-year earthquake that like what happened in San Francisco in like I think it was 19, I forget it was 1912 or 1906, but that flattened San Francisco. The last big one that happened in is actually right outside of Santa Cruz where we grew up. I think it was 1989, and that earthquake flattened Santa Cruz. Downtown Santa Cruz got absolutely flattened. The whole downtown was just a pile of bricks. When we moved there in the early 90s, it was right after that earthquake. It's actually crazy. Josh and I, our migration, we grew up in LA and we moved, and there were always earthquakes. There's still always earthquakes down in LA. You feel them all the time, but they're small. And then then the Loma Prieta earthquake happened in 1989, which was extreme in the Bay Area. It's actually during I think it was a World Series game. It was like an extreme earthquake. I mean, just like if you go look it up, it's kind of before cell phones for the most part.
But
so
to put it in perspective, that was a 6.9.
Yeah. So, but it was an extreme earthquake.
Wrecked.
It literally was extreme. And then so we moved to Santa Cruz a year later, and there was a lot of property damage in that area. And then the LA earthquake hit in 1991. So we actually missed the Loma Prieta earthquake, and then we missed the LA earthquake. And the LA earthquake was also extreme. It was an extreme earthquake, happened very close to the city. And I mean, a huge chunk of the I-10 freeway collapsed, like one of their big like interchange bridges with cars on it. And yeah, it was heavy. So yeah, we haven't.
The Northridge earthquake was a 6.7.
Yeah, there you go. So both those earthquakes were heavy.
And this was 8.8.
and the other thing that's super heavy, if you like conspiracy theories, I don't know if it's a conspiracy theory, but there's been major seismic activity underneath Yellowstone. And Yellowstone is a super volcano, but all volcanoes, record a lot of seismic activity, especially before they erupt. And there's been some weird animal migrations coming around that area where they've been observing, like, buffalo and antelope and a lot of animals just like evacuating the area recently, like very abnormal. And a bunch of really crazy geysers in the Yellowstone Park have been exploding recently. And, they're always touring and showing people around that area. A lot of tourists come through there, and they've just been observing like, oh, wow, I haven't seen that one ever going off. And it's like some extreme stuff. And everyone's like, that may not be good, because if that does erupt, that super volcano, yeah, we're talking about like, it's like a catastrophic event. They're basically saying that it could lower the temperature of the earth by 10 degrees, which, and it could cover pretty much half of the United States, like the western part of the United States, in ash for like years. So hopefully it doesn't happen in my lifetime, but it's not looking good.
Yeah,
so.
It doesn't sound ideal.
But we finally got, we always kind of report on the crypto musings on a Wednesday. And one thing that is notable is that ETH is just hanging tough.
Yeah.
Right around this 4,000 range. I mean, we're getting swings in the, hundreds of dollars on ETH, but yeah, Biddy hanging out around just under 118,000, and ETH holding strong, kind of reclaimed 3,800 after a little dip yesterday. And that's good for the base ecosystem and good for PKT. So
yeah, indeed. It's it feels like it wants to break out. It's just tapping. What it tapped on
Yeah, it almost got so close.
386. And then it did break this line that I have drawn from kind of the last two tippy tops.
Yeah,
but
it's if you look at the trend, like it's definitely consolidating right below the trend line. That is a
yeah,
breakout level. And it did a little fake out, like heading up. We got a little run up to like 39, was it like 39.3 or something like that? It got real close to 4,000.
yeah, 39.42.
Okay. Yeah. And yeah, we're just
I think
just chilling. So that's good. That's good. You know, the big question, it's like the big question that nobody kind of, I bet a lot of people have a premonition about it, but obviously no one knows the answer to, except for maybe CZ knows, because he's just waiting to press the sell button and wreck the market, since basically we just know the exchanges are choose when the bear market shows up. That's pretty much the bottom line. But yeah, big question is when are we going up or are we going down? And it feels like there's going to be another pump, but it may be the last one. I've seen some good technical analysis that that puts Biddy in that 136 range, and we saw it top out about 123. So I think there's a world in which we get, over the next 90 days, one more big push. And, all the callers are hoping for alt season.
You don't think we break 2?
I don't think we break 2 this year. Personally, that's my personal thought on it. I don't think so. I think it's interesting. There's a lot of theories, and I'm not super good at them, but about market tops. And you want to be exiting when obviously you want to be exiting when things are getting to the top, but you also want to be careful, because these like blow off top final pumps, like they can be substantial in terms of gain. So it's like you could be up, the market, let's say Biddy right now, right off the low 2022 low, Bitcoin's up what, 6x, a little bit over, almost 7x. That's pretty good. It's pretty good, pretty good pump. I mean, we've seen some dark days, but it's been a general, heading up towards the top level of the chart for the last multiple years, right? And then we got a big, we got the Trump pump, and then we got the Trump dump, just decimated the market, and now we're back, well above all-time highs, like broke 100, haven't looked back. We haven't even gone back under 100 really since this last version of it going up. So where do we go from here? It feels like there could be a little fake out to the downside, and then another substantial push to the upside, some sort of catalyst that would draw that. U.S. capital markets are at all-time highs. Like literally the U.S. capital markets are making new all-time highs almost every single day right now. And, that's a multi-trillion-dollar market. So, you'd think at some point there would be some profit taking, but it just keeps pushing up. So that's generally good. And I don't know, is today the FOMC meeting? Is it today, Josh?
It happened, right?
Did it just already happened? Yeah, I've been out of the loop, but yeah, they were going to announce that they were going to move interest rates, like I thought maybe today. So
It says unlikely 21 hours ago.
Just say when is the FOMC meeting?
It says unlikely to cut. Yeah, it is Wednesday.
It's today.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's going to be, he's going to announce it at like 11, probably 11 o'clock, right? Something like that. So anyway, we'll get news today. Yeah, it's like a 2% chance. I'll tell you right now, if he does cut the rates by a quarter point today,
2 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah, so 11. Okay, so in 90 minutes. So if he does cut the rate by even 0.25%, there's going to be a major pump. Major pump. But that there could be at least there's a 2% chance that they cut the rates today. And there's there I think I saw it was well over 50-60% that he's going to cut the rates at the next meeting, which I think is a September meeting. So
see if Trump throws a hissy fit.
Yeah, it's just not likely because they did get that hot print, the CPI print. Inflation did go up. It went up. So, and they were waiting to see, and it did go up. So it doesn't make a lot of sense that they would drop the rate today, but we'll see. And certainly, like I said, if the market gets a surprise, it's going to go up. If the market expects that there's no rate change and then there's no rate change, I mean, there could be some volatility, but it's not going to be bad. Don't mark my words on that, but most likely wouldn't be bad. And then,
predicting this market is as easy as predicting the weather.
Yeah, for sure. I wish it was. Be a lot better trader. But yeah, we'll just have to see. We'll just have to see how it all shakes out. But the point of my story is that it feels like there's one more major push in the market that could happen this year.
Yeah, people are saying August.
August is what is a top?
No, they're saying August is a pump month,
maybe.
And actually, no, they said August is a down month. Usually.
Yeah, last year August was a
red month, and then you go and get a pump through September, and then October is when it's over.
Yeah, maybe.
Everybody goes on vacation in August, so no, August is not the time that something's going to pump. Yeah. But what I would say, I think that the fact that the market's so stable right now says that there's more in it, because when you're hitting the top, it gets super unstable. It's like you've got 5 or 10K swings every day, and then it's like, all right, this is it. This is tapping out, and it's going to go back. No, but right now, it's just like 118, 118, 118, and that's telling you that there's energy behind it still. The way I read it, it's like you don't know how much energy there is in the market, but you know what the price is. The energy drops off over time as the price goes up, the energy goes away. When the energy starts to run out, then the price gets really unstable, starts jittering around, and then when the energy gets to zero, then the price has to drop. So that's you're just trying to figure out how much when I say energy, I mean buy enthusiasm. How much buy enthusiasm is there, and how much buy volume. You can look at volume, but volume's a lie, because that's just mixing your buy volume, sell volume, everything. And but buy volume seems like it stabilizes the market and just kind of sits there. It sits flat. It kind of climbs a little bit, and when you run out of volume, you get these massive ups and downs, and that's pretty much the end of that cycle. So I agree.
Yeah, and we saw that around 100. Yeah,
I have an instinct, though, that I don't think Powell's going to do anything with the markets. Anything. It's just absolutely minimal. It's all about when he's going to retire and get replaced. I think that, and this is just a spidey sense, so it's not worth anything. But I think that when he when he announces his retirement, or when he's when the day that he's replaced, it's going to be seen as positive, but it's going to be priced in, and the markets are going to go down.
You think the markets are going to drop once he
when the next person comes in that everybody knows is going to print money? It'll be seen as positive, and everybody's going to be like, okay, here's our opportunity to buy. But nope, it's all priced in. Market goes down.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, that'll definitely be the shoe dropping. Now, that could be 8 months from now or 9 months from now. So but that gives you a good indicator on kind of for sure when he's out. And certainly, I think Trump would have fired him if he didn't think it was going to obliterate the market. He knows that will not be good to do that. And his advice, I mean, because he does not care about anything but that type of stuff. And for sure, if they said, yeah, you just do it, and the market will recover, he would have done it. He just would have done it and not really cared and been like, fuck you, sue me. But yeah, no, he ain't gonna do it. I really don't think that's in the cards. So, you could say cycle top no matter what is May, or within that kind of, little window of time once they announce who's coming in and right before he's going out, and they probably pull the rug out from under us around that point. So yeah, that'll definitely happen. But yeah, what happens between now and the end of the year is anybody's guess, really. Yeah. So, we'll just keep running with it. Do have some really good news. I'm going to be real cryptic about it, but we three of us had a very cool call yesterday. It was nice. You've been kind of on the obviously part of every single, we do meetings internally for Packet and Packet TV almost every single day of the week except for Thursdays. But Caleb, you haven't really gotten on many of the calls, the Packet TV calls, with the folks that we've been talking to. So yeah, yesterday, Caleb got to pop in to a very big meeting. And I can just kind of tease a little bit. Obviously not going to mention names, but this was a meeting that was set up by one of our advisors who advised us. It'll be cool to talk about, who advised us that the fastest way and the most efficient and safest way to launch Packet TV was to bring in a technology partner for essentially what it calls like white label solution. And so we've been interviewing, if you will, a couple very high level technology partners. And I mean a couple, literally two. So this was was this our second or a third, Josh? I think it was our second.
What?
Text you to say this is our second potential technology white label partner?
No, the first one was the earlier.
It's our third. Right. Yeah, we can't mention them, but yeah, the first one, yeah, for sure. You're right. We met with the first one and then the second one. This is the third. And this one looks like it's a go.
It's a banger.
Very good meeting. And yeah, just the depth of the technology that they've set up it was actually kind of surprising to me because there were a bunch of things I was like, oh dang, I can't even imagine having to build this thing from scratch.
Yeah.
It's daunting when you look at everything on the front end and everything on the back end. Yeah, it's a lot of pieces.
Just the admin side of it, there's so many pieces that we were talking through where you're just, because it's not like Amazon where most people have the same deal, or like YouTube where there's different tiers of deals. Like literally every single person has their own deal, their own waterfall, their own payout. Like it's so complex. Like I can imagine just talking to these guys how they started, and I'm sure people had a gun in their mouth with tears rolling down their face, just like trying to figure out how to do this stuff, because it is intense. Because I think they said they have 400 partners, so just doing 400 individual payouts, your head's gonna spin. It's just
and each partner has hundreds of components to it. So yeah, it was a great meeting. They extremely knowledgeable. They were interviewing us as much as we were interviewing them, but yeah, it felt like a good fit, very good fit in terms of what it would they were actually excited for what it could do for their company as well with and they don't even know a couple of the other pieces of our strategy because we haven't entered an NDA with them yet. But yeah, there's there's some really big pieces to this story, really big pieces that we've been putting together. So it's not a small thing. I think, you know, one of the biggest challenges when you're building something is awareness. We talk about it all the time, you know, in just like from a marketing standpoint in particular, it's always very tricky. Like, how can you build a brand that nobody knows about to be successful? And we had this one meeting that was really impacted me. And they said with a prospective advisor, and he said, name a single app that you use every day that's younger than 10 years old. And ironically, I can think of just a couple. But what he said is that 90+% of apps that we use are like legacy apps, you know, things that have been around for quite a long time. So especially things, you know, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, you know, just the apps generally that you're using on a day-to-day basis. They're not like, you know, even big apps. I don't know if you use any, you know, project management software, you know, etc. Like it's all, you know, it's all been around for a long time. So
I'd say the newest app is ChatGPT. It's like the new one that people were like, okay, I'll download a new app.
yeah, there's that. And if you do any like sports gambling, those are a lot of them are new apps. But yeah, there's just not a lot that you're using on a daily basis that's new. And when it comes to content, very few, if any, that people are, I mean, you know, Netflix, Amazon, Hulu, like, you know, all these apps are HBO, all these apps are very old. So how do you know, what is required to launch something? And so it's a lot of marketing dollars and a lot of risk capital to do it, because you're trying to compete in a crowded marketplace. You have to build trust. Getting someone to use something one time, you know, that's possible. Getting somebody to become a daily average user is a big ask. You got to offer a lot of value, and the incumbents are extremely powerful and doing a great job retaining customers. And just think about like the early days of Netflix, for example. Like people, it wasn't necessarily a great experience early on, and there were many moments where Netflix would do something, and you'd read these articles like mass exodus, everyone's canceling their Netflix accounts, and they did have a lot of ebb and flow, you know, circumstances at Netflix before they got to, you know, whatever 300 million customers they have today. But there were points of time when there was real concern around their growth and whether it's sustainable, and they kept doubling down, you know, on original content, spending $13+ billion a year on original content, you know, having to raise prices and having people have a little fit around price increases. And so anyways, this technology partner, also content partner, because they have a huge library, massive library. I couldn't even believe the numbers they were saying, is yeah, going to give us a really nice shortcut, I guess you could say, to getting a product live and knowing that that will be a good product to offer to customers. And of course, the product's free, so you know, Packet TV will be free. Also, we were, you know, very careful to make commitments around a global rollout, but this may quicken our ability to, you know, go global. We were going to initially focus on Western markets. Certainly, like the strength of CDN in different parts of the world is a piece of, you know, contention. So we just have to kind of figure that out. But yeah, we don't have like exact launch plans. You know, we're still putting together the pieces. But yeah, this was huge. This really gives us a yeah, it gives us like a shoe in for sure. And then the other big announcement that we can't make today is just around you know, our kind of branding intentions. So major branding intentions, major infrastructure partner, that is going to make this a lot lot smoother to launch. And yeah, it really makes a late spring launch next year seem very realistic. So we've got a lot of work to do, lot of work. The third piece of the puzzle was like branding, infrastructure, number 2, and number 3 is marketing. And was talking with one of our advisors yesterday. He was giving me some marching orders on what we need to do, and it's not far off from kind of what we're doing, but kind of coalesce on what that exactly looks like. And it looks like bringing in major celebrities and brands to a lesser degree, but major celebrities to not just be launch partners, to be actual partners in Packet TV, to promoting it and really lessening the requirement of paying people to promote. So it's like that people will just naturally promote major individuals, celebrity types that can have ownership in this and become part of its advocacy plan and marketing, having equity ownership, and helping get the word out there, kind of organically through their social reach, and then through just like PR kind of marketing efforts as well. But yeah, that's kind of the next piece of this. Next piece of this is what we need to do from a marketing standpoint. We have a very substantial budget, very substantial 8-figure budget, mid 8-figure budget for marketing that's earmarked in this initiative. So that is it's a big deal.
Yeah.
And
we never had that in all the years of Packet. We never even had a fraction of that. So
yeah, no,
that gets exciting to have the firepower that's required to be impactful and to come out swinging, and have some of the buzz that we're talking about creating to kind of get that organic buzz as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just really exciting stuff. I can't wait until we can announce it and just kind of open up the kimono. But it's like there's a lot of stuff brewing right now, and yeah, and you look at the chart and you wouldn't know it, but there's there's the tidal wave is coming.
Yeah, look, it's not coming fast. It's oh wow, ETH just dumped out. But yeah, it's not coming super fast. It's just been a very methodical build. But yeah, that's at least happening. The other thing that we've been putting a lot of thought into, and we've been chatting about it as well, is where does Packet fit into Packet TV? And so we've been also building a plan specifically on the crypto side that about where we go with this. One of the announcements that kind of inspired me the other day is about what that Jay-Z, I don't know, do you know what crypto project he just invested into? He just invested into like a major, his fund just invested, I thought it said 100 million, but I could be wrong on that. But it mentioned that he was just investing into crypto space, specifically around music royalties and using blockchain for music royalties. And that's been part of our dream, part of the thesis here is offering, transparency, and certainly talking to this technology partner yesterday and all the infrastructure that they have set up around reporting is, extremely notable. But yeah, I really am passionate about getting that integrated into a blockchain. And so yeah, there's interesting to see Jay-Z starting to pay attention to that. That was a big announcement. I don't know where that money's going. There's which blockchain project in particular, or if it's got a cryptocurrency to it, or if it's just a blockchain endeavor, which is possible, I guess, as well. But yeah, there's absolutely a integration for Packet, not just on the infrastructure side, saying, oh, we're going to use the Packet network for content distribution, or to domicile websites and things of within the packet within Packet TV and things adjacent to Packet TV, but also just thinking about how the cryptocurrency itself can integrate, essentially, having a wallet built in to the Packet TV app and things that you can do with that. So, for example, being able to pay for, to suppress commercials, which we think is really interesting. Within a fast ecosystem, that's just something we've been kind of toying with. I think that's something I certainly would do if I could watch TV and skip commercials. I love that. So that's one piece, but yeah, I think there's a lot more that can be done. I guess you would say, like in a TVOD circumstance, which is more traditional way that people spend money watching content. So like if you go watch new releases and just pay, with a currency, be very compelling, I guess.
I think it's called Music Cow.
What's it called?
Music Cow.
Music Cow.
Yeah.
Okay. Have not even heard that name. So do you know if it's got a crypto project associated with it, or is it just blockchain?
I was just researching it just now.
Yeah, interesting.
Be interesting to watch.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. But yeah, it just kind of feels, it's always good when someone makes a big move like that. It kind of goes, okay, so that's a notable, investment thesis. And then we also know that Coinbase is making a huge push into the Base app. And I was actually just watching an interesting interview. I was listening to Brian Armstrong. He was basically saying that within the Base ecosystem, you can tokenize individuals, like authors, publishers. You can do a post, like let's say you do an article and you can tokenize the article, and then people can buy the token for the article. I was just like trying to wrap my head around it. It was on a podcast and was kind of attributing it to investing, kind of attributing it to like a Patreon. Like Patreon's a service that allows individuals to raise money from their community. It's basically like a paywall, but for people to donate to you if they like you. And so a lot of influencers will do this where they'll, they're just creating content and they'll ask their community, hey, throw in a couple bucks. Substack kind of does this as well, where it's like you can subscribe, and they give certain pieces of content to their subscribers. And I guess Patreon is, I know Patreon's pretty much a similar thing, but he was interviewing with a guy. He said he has 90,000 Patreon users, and Brian was like surprised, like, wow, that's a lot. But if you had 90,000 people investing into a crypto token, that shit's gonna absolutely boost. I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot of holders. I mean, even getting to 5,000 holders on a crypto token is a lot of people. And so, yeah, Patreon, this is just one guy. I bet if I named his name, most people have never even heard of him, but got 90,000 Patreon users that donate to his cause. Right. So, it will be interesting to see where this goes. But yeah, Base has got a bunch of things brewing. The Coinbase wallet that a lot of people in the Packet community use is already changed the logo. You can actually see the logo shifted, but the app hasn't really made any material changes that I've at least noticed. And so what's apparently going to happen is this, like, everything app is going to switch. That wallet will be integrated. And I don't know, I'm just like, I want to see Packet get natively integrated into the Base app. That's where I want to be. So I'm just putting it out into the universe. I think it's possible with what we're doing. I think it's very fortuitous that we shifted over to Base and this is what's happening. And now that we're getting into this like Packet TV side of things and some of the freaking massive hitting partners that are coming in on this thing, I think it's, at the level that would gain some attention. So it's just figuring out how to make that connection with Base. But yeah, that's certainly a place that we're thinking. Haven't talked with Base specifically about it yet, but or even have a clear understanding of how it would work to get Packet TV into the Base app. But it's got to be possible. If it's not natively possible, then it's at least driving people over to get Packet TV. But being that Packet is a Base token, now it would make a lot of sense to get some support, especially since this is by far the biggest entertainment-based technology use case in the entire crypto ecosystem. Hands down, there's absolutely nothing else that's even close. I guess you could say like Justin Sun's BitTorrent is maybe like the only thing that's like fringe adjacent to, but it's not. It's it's just a file sharing kind of solution. But I think I think there's a major play there. What do you think about that, Josh?
Yeah, I think pulling that off would be massive. I think there's a great way, the things we've been kind of vibing about with skipping ads in Packet TV and being able to convert because the interesting thing is like each ad has a CPM. So, you're taking whatever that price is, dividing it by 1,000, and whatever that price is, that's how much that ad costs. That's what the creator is expecting, or the license holder is expecting to earn from that particular ad. So that money needs to come from somewhere. And when you divide it by 1,000, it's coming out to like fractions of a penny per ad per person. So Packet is kind of is like basically positioned properly, even at, a 400th of a penny, it's
true.
It's 1 or 2 packet is what it's going to cost you to skip an ad. So you have your wallet that's full of packet, and you just want to, spend a packet or 2 to skip an ad. That's great. If you want to skip, the pods of ads, which is like 5 ads in a row, it's going to cost you, 10 packet maybe, so people are probably cool with spending 10 packet. That's 4 cents to skip, just to continue watching your movie. And on the back end of that, the creators or the license holders, they're expecting to get dollars. So making the technology to just convert what they're expected to receive into USDC, that makes it really easy for a creator to get that money instantly. They don't got to worry about price fluctuations or any of that other stuff. So, and then the other percentage of that, which goes to the platform, that can remain in Packet. And you can just create this way where there's, buying and selling a packet. People are filling up their wallet to skip ads, and so that creates the buy pressure, and the platform can be custodial, right? People don't even need to know they're using crypto. They just know they need to, fill up their wallet to be able to skip ads. Each ad is different. It could be one ad is $7, one ad is $50. I mean, there's definitely like a pretty broad range of what these CPMs are. So that almost is like crypto, where the price swings can be high on a per ad basis, and the value of each one of those, of each token, can fluctuate as well. So I think there's just like a really good synergy with the way that will function, and with the way that Base works with low fees, fractional. You can have microtransactions is the word I was looking for, and it's really frictionless. I mean, that is just kind of creates this world where people are powering the network by running the infrastructure. You're earning Packet. If you don't want to run any infrastructure, you go buy Packet and fill up your wallet, and you do it just like Starbucks does it. You fill up your Starbucks wallet, and if you want to go buy coffee, then you're just spending out of your wallet. If you want to refill If you want to buy more coffee, you don't have any more money, or you don't have enough money, then you're just refilling your wallet. I think we can create a really cool ecosystem where there's, buy, sell transactions. People are, getting a utility of what they actually want, and then integrating that with stablecoin technology. I think it just makes this like a really simple way that Packet integrates, and money can flow, and people can, earn their money in a very frictionless way. And with the way that Base makes it so easy to move from crypto to cash in your bank with ACH, it's just that's what gets me excited. Is there's always been this big gap. And I remember just even back when I was first trying to get into the game with Coinbase back in 2017. I remember trying to figure out how to get from fiat into crypto, and then how to get from crypto back into fiat, and it was not easy. And now it's so frictionless and so simple, and the fees are so low because Base is fractions of a penny. Sometimes it's free if you're using USDC. Um, uh, and so I just think we're there. It's been a long road to get to a place where you can let normal people use blockchain, and I think we finally have turned that corner.
Yeah, you really brought up a great point about USDC, and I think that's the big story here is stablecoin technology. And with the Genius Act passing, we're now seeing the regulation that banks need to get into the stablecoin game. People are comfortable with seeing a digital balance on their phone and saying, hey, that's my money. And what's the difference between looking at your Bank of America account and saying, oh, wow, I have $1,000 in my Bank of America account, and looking at a wallet and says I have $1,000 in the wallet? Like, there's no difference there. The only difference is, can you get the money in your wallet into your Bank of America account so you can, pay your health insurance bill or something. So that's the thing that Base does. Base has really Coinbase has done a great job being a bridge between fiat and crypto. But yeah, I think people are getting more and more comfortable. Certainly over the next 10 years, it's going to be a game changer in how people are, their comfortability with using digital currency. And yeah, and so with the low fees that Base is providing and getting people comfortable with what a stable coin is, I think for sure on the content side, if you had the choice of like, do you want to be paid in real time for your royalties in a stable coin that you can easily withdraw? You'll have to pay a fee when you withdraw to your, fiat bank account, but like still you're getting paid every single minute or whatever in real time in stable coins. Or do you want to get paid every 3 to 6 months in, a royalty statement that's sent, via email at some point in the future when an accountant like gets around to preparing your statement? I think people are going to take the cash now option for sure. And that's not even a crypto choice. That's just like, pay me now. I want money now versus later. And and so that's why I think that, and if that's combined with like a transparency element and like real-time reporting, you can look at like graphs and trends and data that shows like how much money you're making in real time, and then like get that cash and then accumulate that cash in a stable coin and then withdraw it to your bank account pretty frictionlessly. Obviously you pay a withdrawal fee to Coinbase. Sometimes that's a disgusting fee. I mean, it's not, their fee structures are not that great, because even if you're withdrawing thousands of dollars, you're going to pay, probably just, you could pay hundreds of dollars, right, Josh, on a fee. If you're withdrawing tens of thousands of dollars, you're going to potentially pay, many hundreds of dollars. So there's still some issues with those fees on withdrawal. That's definitely of concern.
That's Coinbase to just withdraw to your bank?
Yeah, they hit you with a massive fee. I mean, I think it's like, $2,000 is like $60.
It only hits you a massive fee if you want to transfer it instantly. If you do it over 1 to 3 days, it's free.
Is it free?
Uh-huh.
Oh, so they only charge you if you do an instant withdrawal.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
That's
because it doesn't make that much sense because there's all these other exchanges, and for the most part it's all like free or almost free, and maybe it's expensive to do like a wire transfer, but
maybe it's just the
a bank.
immediate. I've paid to withdraw and like needed to withdraw, like, and I've paid $60, $80 withdrawal fees, a few, for withdrawing thousands of dollars, but like $4,000 or something, $5,000, and it could be maybe just about $100. Look, it's not as bad as Ethereum gas fees. If the market's dumping and you need to move some ETH, I've seen gas fees at $400, $600. I mean, ETH is borderline an incompetent platform with any type of congestion for moving money around. So I'm not impressed with ETH as a real solution, but definitely impressed with Base. Although when the market is dumping out, Base has comparable problems because it's built on the Ethereum infrastructure, and ETH is not really built for congestion. So there are some problems that become really glaring when there's.
What about Coinbase? Volatility. If you're doing a trade during crazy volatility moments, do you see problems on the website?
Yeah, for sure. They'll be like, "Oh, we're out of service."
Yeah, I think that's all exchanges.
Yeah, all exchanges. Yeah, there are moments of concern. I remember last year, literally last August, there's been some moments where, and especially anybody who's doing anything in DeFi, or if you take like a loan out against your Bitcoin or Ethereum, and the market drops out from under you, yeah, it's and they're like, oh, you need to top up your collateral, and you can't move any money on the network. I've had that happen. So
fun times. Don't recommend it.
Don't recommend it. Don't take
on that note. Yeah, well, lots happening. We're just shifting gears here, and hopefully we're gonna be able to start making some announcements in the near future. But
indeed,
yeah, over the summer, as we end out the summer, we're getting deep into the next iterations of this, and trying to kind of tie the knot on a few of these things to make them to actualize them, and enable us to start making announcements to the community. So stay tuned. Thanks for joining. Make sure you like, retweet, do all the things that you do with social media to get the word out there, and we'll catch you guys next week.
Cool. Peace.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Have a good one.